Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Putty, and welcome back to another edition of Mid-Atlantic Wrestling, the best damn territorial wrestling on the planet. It's true. It's damn true. And ladies and gentlemen, tonight is the final show of 2024. It is the night of the champions in our main event of the evening. And tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I think we have a stacked card. I'm very impressed with what we've managed to do tonight, and I'm hoping that you guys will enjoy the show. But in our main event of the evening, it is a lumberjack match. It is preventing all interference from Marv Statler or Papa Dan alike. It doesn't matter who you are not getting in that ring, because we are going to surround the ring with the members of the Mid-Atlantic roster. So, it is a lumberjack match for the Confederation of the Territories Heavyweight Championship of the World. Logan Wolfsbane, Robin DaLay. The final battle of Team Progress begins tonight, and the winner will, of course, be the World's Heavyweight Champion. If Robin DaLay loses, he can no longer challenge Logan Wolfsbane for that Heavyweight Championship. Would be a huge defeat for Robin DaLay. That's not our only match tonight, though, because the Mid-Atlantic Wrestling Championship is on the line as Gary Walker, Super Gary Walker, the Entertainer, takes on Fro Sure, putting his Mid-Atlantic Championship on the line. And then our opening match of the evening, Matthew Keith is going to be taking on Davis Wayne Newton. That, plus returns, debuts, much more for you tonight. We're in the Mall Zone. It is the December show. It is the night of the champions. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get kicking with a huge match. Matthew Keith, Davis Wayne Newton. Let's do it. Kick off with a great match, of course. Superb wrestling. Decent reaction from the crowd. Matthew Keith, Davis Wayne Newton. Really about what you'd expect from these two. A long, really cool match. Technical based, I think. Davis Wayne Newton with that faster, quicker technical wrestling mixed in with that vicious, high-flying offense. And also, we start to see that other side of Davis Wayne Newton. Fro Sure and Davis Wayne Newton, when they're together, when they're clicking, when they're on the same mindset, you start to see their influences on each other. Davis Wayne Newton with this savage attitude, this brutal, vicious, nasty technical wrestling, really targeting the limbs and the ligaments of Matthew Keith, really trying to hurt the prodigal son, really trying to hurt the ace there with the stomps and the wrenches and everything that Davis Wayne Newton can really muster up. And also, despite this savage attack, this savage offense, Davis Wayne Newton very chill. When he gets that separation, when he gets that space, he doesn't press an advantage. He's vicious and brutal in his attacks, but he doesn't push. He doesn't create and exploit weaknesses. When he gets that separation, when he gets that time, he just lies in the middle of the ring and taunts Matthew Keith towards him. Says, "Come on, Matthew, is that the best you've got?" Very chill attitude from Dave, of course, the man who's made a home in Freedom Caribbean Wrestling, Davis Wayne Newton, the triple threat that he is. Matthew Keith, of course, bringing that ace fire, that ace passion that we've seen from him, whether it is in Japan or right here in the United States. Matthew Keith is one of the greatest wrestlers on the planet today. A slick, technical wrestler. One of the smoothest grapplers in the business today, and with a smile and a wink to the crowd, he locks in so many technical wrestling maneuvers. Reminiscent of Sam Keith, the legendary icon of the 90s, the legendary icon of the early 2000s, with some absolutely wonderful technical wrestling sequences, breaking through the savagery of Davis Wayne Newton to lock in every hold you can imagine before finishing it off with the slickest implementation of the legendary Proton Lock, just cutting off all avenues of escape for Davis Wayne Newton, and Davis Wayne Newton is forced to tap as Matthew Keith gets a huge victory in his second match back here in Mid-Atlantic Wrestling. Matthew Keith on a roll, one of the best wrestlers in the world today. What can he do in the Ripco Invitational next month? We move on to the commentators, putting over that tonight we are going to see the debut here in Mid-Atlantic Wrestler of the Traveler, Roger Brown. The commentators put over that Roger Brown is a free spirit. He's a man who's been going from territory to territory, without actually settling down. And more than that, it's not just that he doesn't settle down in wrestling sense. He's actually not a man with a stable home, a stable accommodation. He goes from territory to territory using that paycheck to get accommodation for the night. And tonight he's come here to Mid-Atlantic Wrestling. He's come here to work. He's come here to stay in I'm going to say we're in North Carolina right now. Or I guess we're in DC. It's the mall zone, guys. It's DC. He's going to stay in DC tonight with the paycheck he gets. And this is his Mid-Atlantic Wrestling debut against the Outlaw, Mike Graves. And Mike Graves doesn't give Roger Brown any pause, any leeway. Mike Graves goes after him as much as Mike Graves would go after any other performer. Brutal, of course, the Outlaw Mike Graves. Vicious brawler that he is. Strikes and elbows the face of Roger Brown, but Roger Brown fires back with that passion, that fire. You know, he's a man who's gone through a lot of struggles and diversity. It's not easy traveling around the country like he does. He does it because he loves it, but it's not easy. And he's had to get through a lot to even be here tonight, and so he isn't going to be kept down by a few untoward strikes. And he kips up and he fires back with a series of kicks and a series of strikes. But tries to play Mike Graves' game, tries to play the striking game, and you cannot beat Mike Graves in a brawl. And indeed, Mike Graves hits that sprinting high knee, brutal knee to the face of Roger Brown, putting down the youngster and picking up the victory for the Chicago native, Mike Graves. We move on to a promo backstage with James Diaz, who says, he's there with Boss Man, and he says, "Boss Man, I've done a little bit of thinking, and I feel like I came so close that night to retaining my Mid-Atlantic Wrestling Championship, and no matter how much I can look back at that and say that I was close, I lost. I get that. But I was still the most dominant champion in the history of Mid-Atlantic Wrestling, and I think on night 2 of the Ripcord Invitational, I think I deserve a title shot, a rematch. Well, not really a rematch, but a title shot at Fro Sure for the Mid-Atlantic Wrestling Championship." And Bossman says, "Don't you mean Fro or Gary?" And James laughs a little, says, "Please, I want a title shot at Fro at the Ripcord Invitational. What do you say?" And then Bossman says, "Well, you can have a title shot, James, but it's going to be against the champion, whether that be Fro Sure or Gary Walker. Okay?" And then the two men shake hands, and James Diaz will be getting a title shot against whoever the champion is. He seems pretty confident it's going to be Fro Sure on night 2 of the Ripcord Invitational next year. We move into the debut, or I guess re-debut for individual members of the tag team, of the Lords of the Ring, Al Coleman and Frantic Ali, 2-time Californian champions, tag team champions, that is. Been really impressive over the last 4 years or so. And I'm just looking, I saw chemistry there. I was like, wait, what? Let me just check. Yeah, everything's okay. Right, yeah. Two-time California champions. Very, very impressive recently. Both men, I think, have made appearances in MAW, never been here full-time. But tonight they make their debut against Sweet Jesus, of course, the team of Holy Hardy Goldsworth and the Saint, formerly the Sinner, Ruby Velasquez. Ruby Velasquez, of course, one of the better strikers in the business today. Brutal strikes. But he's going up against Frantic Ali, who is also one of the strongest strikers in the history of the business. And Frantic Ali has that mind, that head, that experience. He's a grizzled old vet, is Frantic Ali, and he's able to take the strikes of Ruby Velasquez like better than anybody else here in Mid-Atlantic Wrestling has been able to take the strikes of Ruby Velasquez, and Lords of the Ring are able to pick up the victory when Al Coleman taps Ruby Velasquez with his ankle brace. Big victory for the Lords of the Ring here. And after the match, they do get on the mics. Frantic Ali says, "You're looking at the most dominant tag team on the West Coast. You're looking at the most dominant tag team in the history of CZCW. And you are looking at the most dominant tag team now in Mid-Atlantic Wrestling. We're here to brutalize, we're here to victimize, we're here to destroy, and we're here to prove to the world that we are the best there is. And we will take those titles right back to California where they belong." And we move on to a match from the Hot Prospects tournament winner, Dice Bulo, making his, main roster debut against Earl Martin here. Oh, apparently I made this an overbooked match. Okay. Oops. Mayhem. Alright then. That was unintentional. Alright, it's a mayhem match. These two just go crazy for some reason. It's really weird. Nobody gets why it happens. But Tice Bulu picks up the win with the bionic knee, knocking out the always works hard, does Earl Martin. But in the end, he gets knocked out by the hot up-and-comer Tice Bulu, who has been very impressive recently. I'm going to sneeze one sec. Apparently I'm not going to sneeze. It feels like I need to sneeze. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we move on to our big lads wrestling match. These two have had issues all year. All year has Animal Harker and Akira Erato had issues. They've been in tag team clashes throughout the last couple of months, and finally they get to go one-on-one once more. I think they've had one singles match in the past, but they get to finally fight each other once again, and it is absolute brutality. I think we have a reinforced ring tonight after the last time these two clashed in any serious manner. And indeed it helps, because both men are bouncing off the ropes. Big boots, big lariats, elbows, arms, brainbusters, power bombs. I think Animal Harker lifts Akira Erato up for this monstrous power bomb on the big man, and it just shakes the whole arena. And these two just clash with the fighting spirit and the fury of Puroresu that they have shown over the last few months. And it is pure and awesome big lads wrestling at its best. But Akira Erato shows his expertise. Massive big boot, picks up the big lad. Another brainbuster. And Akira Erato does indeed pick up a huge singles victory going into 2025. And we move on to the interview area where Lisa Bowen says, my boys are about to have a non-title shot against Aurigun. And I gotta tell you all, you have underestimated the greatest express-based tag team in the history of Mid-Atlantic wrestling. Johnny Needham, Ralph Leota, the Heartbreak Express. And tonight they're gonna show you and the world why they are the greatest tag team in the business today. And after we beat Aurigun tonight, we're going to go barreling on. The tracks will stay forward as we go to our Mid-Atlantic Wrestling Tag Team title shot. Believe that. And Lisa Bowen's prediction does come true, as Clinton Adams is unable to prevent Lisa Bowen from interfering on Darren Gurgel and allowing Johnny Needham to pick up the victory with a roll-up, or the score, I suppose, after Lisa Bowen got involved. Absolutely filthy tactics from the Heartbreak Express, but they have beaten the tag team champions. Will they get a title shot? They'd probably deserve it. I think, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our Mid-Atlantic Wrestling our Mid-Atlantic Wrestling Championship match. And indeed it is. Gary Walker, Fro Sure, big match from these two. Fro Sure starts it off with that vicious, brutal style, that brutal, savage brawl, the brawling mixed with some technical wrestling that he has come to embody over the last few months. Punch, kick, stomp, arm drag, arm bar, everything that Fro Sure has in his arsenal to keep Gary Walker down. And he just kicks him out of the ring and lies in the middle of the ring like, come on, Gary. Come on, let's get this over with so that I can finally win the MAW championship. And Gary gets back in that ring, infuriated, impassioned, but he gets put down again as Fro Sure manages to get the takedown, starts barreling away at Gary Walker's face, punch after punch, bloodying the underdog. Absolute carnage as Gary Walker is getting destroyed by Fro Sure. Fro Sure backs him up into a corner. Ref calls for a break, and Fro just slaps him across the face, and that infuriates Gary Walker as he comes out of the corner like a house on fire. Big boot to Fro Sure. Call him for that brainbuster, but Fro manages to drop behind and hit a drop kick on Gary Walker into the turnbuckle once again. Fro tries to roll Gary Walker up, pull in the tights, but he only gets a 2 count. And out comes Davis Wayne Newton, much to the ire of the crowd as they know exactly what's going to happen. And Davis Wayne trips up Gary Walker from outside the ring. Flat on his face goes Gary Walker as Davis Wayne Newton is proving to be a pest and a menace at ringside. And indeed, the momentum even more heavily starts to switch onto Fro Sure as he picks Gary Walker up, hits that Death Valley driver, starts to lock in that Fro mission. but Gary Walker won't fade. The Fro mission seems to be fully locked in. Gary Walker is fading, but he's holding on. That fire, that passion, he had to overcome so much to even be in the wrestling business. Now he's the champion. He's the guy, he's the man, and he won't give it up easily. The hand comes down for 1. The hand comes down for 2. And the hand comes down for 3, but it doesn't go all the way down as Gary Walker fights out of the Fro mission, powers out of it, pushing Fro Sure into the corner. In comes Davis Wayne Newton to try and interfere again. Death Valley driver from Gary Walker to Davis Wayne Newton, knocking out the interference. Big drop kick to Fro Sure, calls for the bionic clothesline. Fro ducks it. Gary ducks a clothesline of Fro's. Gary hits the brainbuster, calls for the bionic clothesline again, and straight to the face of Fro Sure. Gary Walker, 1, 2, 3, and still the Mid-Atlantic Wrestling Champion, Super Gary Walker. Absolutely incredible. The fairy tale continues for the entertainer Gary Walker as he retains his Mid-Atlantic Championship title. After the match, Fro Sure sits in the middle of the ring, he gets a mic, and he says, "My MAW contract expires on the 21st of June, 2025. Between now and then, I'm going to do everything in my power to burn this place to the ground." He drops the mic, and he rolls off, and he walks out. I think, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our main event of the evening, as Robin DaLay and Logan Wolfsbane go one-on-one in a lumberjack match. Did this even say lumberjack match? No. That's weird. It was a lumberjack match, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, lumberjack matches. These two go at it. The clash of the titans once again. Not quite as big lads as the big lads wrestling match we had earlier in the night between Akira, Erato, and Animal Harker. But it is two beefy lads. Two lads, of course, Team Progress is based on the fact that they are genetically superior. They are second or third generation wrestlers. And they're first in the gym. They're the last to leave. They take their supplements. They take their vitamins. They work hard on the way they look. And their genetics support that. Indeed, Logan Wolfsbane, I think he is the nephew of Raymond Diaz. Robin DaLay, of course, the son of Dan DaLay. Legendary wrestling figures, but both men superstars in their own right, across from their legacy. Logan Wolfsbane, one of the longest reigning Mid-Atlantic Wrestling Champions in history, one of the longest reigning World Heavyweight Champions in history, dominant in both reigns, lost his MAW title only to Ernest Youngman, is still the Confederation of the Territories champion heading into this match. Robin DaLay, not gold decorated, however, he is a former tag team champion, and he holds a victory, I think. Yeah, well, I can't remember what was happening earlier in the year, but he holds a victory over Logan Wolfsbane in a tag team match at Where It All Begins Again. He won the Ripcord Invitational in January, the biggest Ripcord Invitational in history. Both men, huge superstars, Team Progress veterans. They were the original incarnation of Team Progress, along with Papa Dan and George Wolf, and they ran the place for a year. They were on top of the world for a year, but all of it started crumbling down. But Logan Wolfsbane said, you know what, I'm going to take over Team Progress. You know, if George doesn't agree with what I do, because of course Logan Wolfsbane's mentality was win at all costs, cut any corners, break any bones, break any limbs if it means I'm still the champ, if I'm still the man. And George Wolf didn't like that. George Wolf started to move away from Team Progress, started to hate what he had created, his protégés. Papa Dan joined him. And Robin DaLay was the man to cast Papa Dan out in a very brutal, very vicious way. And then Robin DaLay stayed with Logan Wolfsbane, stayed at his side as the ring generals got added to Team Progress, and Logan's reign of terror continued. But Robin DaLay started to see that ego, that desire to protect in Logan Wolfsbane. And as Logan Wolfsbane became the heavyweight champion of the world, Robin DaLay saw an empire being built, and Robin DaLay wasn't on the inside of it. Especially when he won the Ripcord Invitational and he got a shot at whatever title he pleased. And he knew that the best title, the greatest title, the most prestigious championship in the business today. We can talk about the Mid-Atlantic Wrestling Championship, and it is an incredible championship. It's the top regional prize in the business. The guy who wins the Mid-Atlantic Championship is one of the greatest wrestlers on the planet today. But there's only one title in the wrestling world that proves that you are number one. And it is the heavyweight championship of the world. It is the COTC title. And that was held by Logan Wolfsbane, and Robin DaLay knew that that was the title. That was the prize for winning the Ripcord Invitational. You had other options, but that was the one. But he was encouraged away from it. Logan Wolfsbane said, "Nah, go challenge James Diaz. Go challenge for the Mid-Atlantic Championship. That's your level. You're my lackey," was the subtext there from Logan Wolfsbane. And Robin DaLay had none of it. Robin DaLay was having none of that. Robin DaLay knew he could be the guy. He didn't need to be someone else's lackey. He didn't need to cut corners either. He thought he was better than Logan Wolfsbane. Because Robin DaLay won everything on his own merit, on his own pride. And Papa Dan even said the same. He said, "Robin, you're not like Logan Wolfsbane. You can choose the right path here." And that's what Robin DaLay did. He said, "No, Logan, I'm coming after you. And if you don't like that, then that shows your true colors. If you're going to kick me out of our friendship, of our alliance, because I'm coming after your title, the title I should be coming after, then that shows your true colors, Logan." And that's exactly what Logan did. And Logan got scared, and Logan got protectist, and Logan's allies are falling like flies. Dean Waldorf, gone. George Wolf, gone. Papa Dan, gone. And now Robin DaLay, gone. Left only with Marv Statler, Logan Wolfsbane clings to that gold like it's all that he has left. But beneath all that is still one of the best technical wrestlers in the business today. Is still the man who broke Fro Sure's leg and put him on the shelf for 6 months. Still the man who beat Ernest Youngman, who beat James Diaz, who beat American Elemental, who beat almost anybody you could put in front of him. That man is still in there. And he is still fighting in this match as he locks Robin DaLay in some of the most brutal, in some of the most vicious technical moves you can imagine. Wrenching away at that left leg, trying to put Robin DaLay on the shelf, just like he did Fro Sure 4 years ago at this very event. "Fuck it," says Logan Wolfsbane. "If you want to come after me, if you want to challenge everything that I hold dear, I am going to break you. And I'm going to show you that where you belong is at my feet, is my lackey. You are the second guy. Because I'm Logan Wolfsbane. Glorious Logan Wolfsbane. I'm the guy. And don't you fucking forget it, Robin DaLay." That's exactly the message Logan Wolfsbane sends as he wrenches back on every limb that Robin DaLay has. But Robin DaLay is powerful. Robin DaLay is strong, and you can't keep him down with anything. And he fires back with elbows, he fires back with forearms, he fires back with headbutts, busting both men open. But Robin DaLay doesn't care, because he's fought so hard all year to prove that he's the guy. And Logan Wolfsbane hits the ropes for a lariat. Robin's able to duck its spear. And Robin's feeling it because he knows, because there's no escape. Marv Statler isn't going to come, the Lumberjacks are there. Logan Wolfsbane is going to run away because the Lumberjacks are there. It's just Robin DaLay and Logan Wolfsbane, and Robin DaLay is on his feet, and Logan Wolfsbane is crawling in the corner trying to get away. Robin DaLay calls. Logan Wolfsbane up Spinebuster, and he starts to feel it. He knows that this is his time. Thumbs up to Logan Wolfsbane. Thumbs down because he knows that all of that pretense, all that friendship, all that alliance, it's over. These are rivals now, and Robin DaLay is the better man. Kick to the midsection. Power bomb. 1, 2, 3. Robin DaLay is on top of the world. And Logan Wolfsbane's reign of terror for the second and possibly final time is over. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I had a lot of fun putting this together. This is one of my favorite cards of the year. I hope you guys thought so too. Let me know in the comments what you thought. If you did enjoy, please leave a thumbs up. Check out the rest of the series. Subscribe if you haven't already. If you're feeling especially generous and particularly like the show, there's a link to my Patreon in the description. There's a link to my Twitter if you want to hear me ramble about wrestling, politics, and everything else under the sun. Also, I tweet out all my videos. So if you don't want to sub to me, following me on Twitter might be a better option. Anyway, thank you all for watching 2024. You're actually catching up to me on the uploads to my recordings now. I'm recording this on the 19th of July, so we're catching up. I have 11 more episodes to record before I can comfortably go on break. So hopefully I can get those done and we don't miss an episode. I would love to do 120 straight days of TEW. I'm getting oh so close, and I hope that you guys can join me on the ride. Thank you all for watching once more, and I will see you guys next time for another episode of Mid-Atlantic Wrestling. Peace out, guys.